we just mentioned before we started recording how life is busy, because we did say we're going to do this more regularly than just the ones we've had Rob on, but we're all busy. We all forget to do things. And Rob, you must be a busy person, Rob, because World Cup winner, since winning the World Cup, you've been to meet royalty, you've been on Sports Personality of the Year, and now you were at Wimbledon last week. What was that all about?
Yeah, I think it just shows the way that the sport's actually growing a lot more with how much sports loving it is getting the eyes of a lot of different people that we never knew that would catch the attention. I mean, I got the email from basically someone that works within Wimbledon, basically saying that the chairman's invited you as well as Tom Halliwell and James Simpson to sit in the royal box, and I'm just first thinking, right, what day was this going to be on? Because I like Wimbledon's like goes on throughout the week, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to put more time off work. I've only been in a job for about a few months now, and I'm still on my 6 month probation. So I'm like, right, let's try not to push it, even though I've got I've basically got commitments, places. So it was amazing to see how we just were able to sit in a place with so many amazing other athletes. Like we had Olympic gymnasts. We had some of the England women Euro winners from I think a couple of years ago now, and just being able to sit in like the same box as them, it just shows about how much our sport's growing, and the applause that we got from everyone else, from the crowd as well, was just amazing. Especially since this is just it with tennis. I mean, we didn't get as high as ones as tennis players like Billie Jean. So I mean, but to have that basically gratitude there, well, not really gratitude, but the applaud there and the mention from it was just amazing, and we're all grateful for it.
I mean, did you enjoy it? I mean, not just the whole being sat on the front row of the royal box and being there with all these sporting greats or whatever, but did you enjoy the tennis as well?
Yeah, it were amazing. Now I only tend to watch tennis. I don't watch it as often as I do, really, but I've been since getting back. I've been watching it pretty much every day when I'm not doing all. If I'm on my lunch, I'm watching it. If I'm at home after working, I've got it on in background, and I think it's just like caught on now to the point where I'm like, right, I might actually just start watching this a bit more now. I've been enjoying it, and we only did get to watch like a couple matches, because the first one, the Carlos I can never pronounce his name properly. I'm gonna probably butcher it. Alcaraz. That first match went on for at least a few hours because it were a back and forth match, and it were an amazing match. Now I took the easy route down, and I decided, right, I'll wake up at 3, set off at about quarter to 4, quarter to 5. And get to Manchester Airport. Now, so I just flew down and flew back, and it just made it so much easier, really, with regards to it. So, I mean, I had the easy trip. I didn't like it I liked it when I finally got back. I think I got back around about 12:30, quarter to 1. So yeah, it was just amazing, really, to actually see how quick that day went with regards to everything, and I'm kind of excited to see what's next with regards to it, really.
So it's the jet set life of a World Cup winner. Two questions. The first very important questions. One is about sartorial elegance.
Okay.
How do you decide what to wear, and who told Tom Halliwell that a 3-piece suit would be a good idea?
In all fairness, I did the same. There's a photo going around, there's a photo on the England Rugby League site, where it was just showing me in my shirt and my waistcoat, and that was because they put the roof down. I do apologise, I've got my cat flaming, wanting attention at the same time. Yeah, cat's wanting attention. But because they had to have the roof on for that first match, it stayed on throughout the whole time. Wait a second, let me just go over there. There we are. Taylor wafting inside camera, so it's always great when I get another guest on. But I had to take my jacket off because the ruling is at Wimbledon is that if you put the roof on, you can't take it off until the game's ended. So I'm there surviving at least few good games with my jacket on, and I'm like, right, starting to sweat now because the heat's starting to come in. So I took it off, and then they were like, went out front to balcony area, and I think it was similar that said, right, let's grab a photo and we'll send it over. I'm like, okay, so you got them two still in the jackets, and me just there in me shirt and waistcoat, and I'm just wondering, how in the flaming hell are you guys actually staying fully dressed in in everything? I couldn't survive, and I was close to like flaming unbuttoning my shirt and like rolling it up as much as I could. But no, I mean, because the temperature were off and on, the weather, I should say, because it was raining 1 minute and then it was sunny, and then it was like you couldn't win. And then it got to the point where it just decided, right, we're going to stay sunny now. I don't know, but I mean, it felt good to say that we all had different types of suits on. I had my World Cup one on, because in all honesty, I love wearing that suit. It always brings back the good memories throughout the World Cup, but then at the same time, it's also just, I like the suit in general. You had Halliwell there in the cream one, which I think he wanted to fit. I think there were like some form of dress code that I didn't know about with regards to that. And then Seymour rocking up in the shorts as well, which I did get warning that he did have permission from it. So I found that quite funny as well, to be honest, because I got forewarned before, and I got a call saying, right, do you have any questions about it, anything with regards to the dress or anything like that? We say no shorts. Obviously, we give Simo a bit of we've given him like a bit of a one-off. We can allow him to do it, obviously, because of the I forget the legs pretty much. Yeah, it was quite funny because I was seeing him, like, you see everyone else like wearing like suits, really suited up, and then you see Simo just walking around in shorts, and I was chuckling to myself throughout the day because of that.
I thought you were rocking the Gareth Southgate look.
Oh, really?
The other question, which everybody must surely have asked you, is what do they give you? Presumably, it's more than a cup of tea and a punnet of strawberries and some cream. Because I know that Tom was worried that he'd used the wrong cutlery.
Yeah. We all so we started off with some like lunch kind of thing beforehand, before the matches started, because we had a strict thing of like, right, be there for 11 at the earliest. We sit down for about 11:30, and it goes and we just sat there, we're all eating, and then we're making sure about like, I think we're all like looking at each other at one point, like, right, who's gonna pick up the cutlery first? Because whoever it is, we're gonna just follow their lead. And it's tough because we're not used to that. We're normally just used to seeing, right, we've got a knife here, we've got a fork here, this is what we're eating with. But with this, we had to like completely change it. It felt like, so like, right, we're not in this situation normally. We're not like, which one are we supposed to use first? And that it's tough. It's really tough to actually say which one it was. So we were kind of like winging it a little bit, or just following whatever someone else was doing, because I know me and Halliwell joked, and we were like, right, we're not going to be the first ones, because if we got it wrong, we have someone else that we can pin the blame on, and it's not us. So we were making sure about that. We had a good amount of things to take away with us, though. Now we had I'm trying to think, like, proper Wimbledon like water bottles kind of thing that they gave us, that they made sure to basically state that it was eco-friendly. And then also like these metal cups as well. So they basically gave you like a bottle of water and then the metal cup where you can just pour it in. Now, us, the Yorkshire lads, we were thinking about that. We were just drinking straight from the bottle, to be honest, and just going from there. Although we saw a lot of other people doing it, so I think we got a bit of leeway with that. But then we just sat down. We had the service there was like unbelievable. Like, we didn't expect it. Like, you get people, like, you get the staff there offering you a drink. You finish your drink, 2 seconds later they're coming over and saying, would you like an over? And it's like, right, how am I going to play this? Because I definitely I can't get too heavy on the drinks. But they were really good. It was honestly unbelievable with how amazing that staff was, and just the event all day round. The front balcony, you could see the other courts. It was just one strict thing, and that's when players are in play, you're not allowed to come in or out of the box. You've got to sit there and just wait. But it weren't really too bad, really. Honestly, it was just an amazing day, and it's definitely one for the memory books.
Did you get to chat with any of the other legends around you in the box about your or their exploits?
I mainly spoke with Billie Jean for a little bit. It was just after the first match that we saw, the Carlos match, and just spoke about the game. Really, just what she thought about it, and it was a really nice back and forth game that we saw. And we had a bit of a conversation about it, but I was going. I was leaving Royal Box to go grab myself a drink because once again the heat was just killing me throughout. Even though it was going through a roof, it was killing me.
But obviously, Wimbledon now. Where next do you want to blag free tickets to? Because we might know people. I don't know, but where else do you fancy? You've got to make the most of this World Cup winning status, haven't you? Because eventually, time will move on and everyone will forget you. So, what else do you want to do while the agony's hot, so to speak?
I mean, time will move on, but I'm still young. I've got plenty of World Cups left. If Tom will take me, that is. So still got plenty of time to keep that success going. But I mean, we were saying on Saturday that it was Silverstone. It was Silverstone Grand Prix. So hopefully, possibly in F1. Hopefully going to Silverstone at some point. I'm definitely going to try it. But I mean, the possibilities are endless about where we could go. It's not just about getting those free tickets. It's about showing it off in a different sporting environment. We've been to tennis now, and all I've been looking through social media is, but who are these people? And it's like, okay, you've got an Instagram reel which basically says Rob Hawkins, Tom Halliwell, James Simpson, England wheelchair rugby league world champions on it. The first thing they're going to look up is, right, what's the wheelchair rugby league? And I mean, say we had Claire Balding introduce us as well, which is also good because at the start of the World Cup, the day before we were meant to face Australia, she came to present our shirts with us as well, and the team built like a very nice relationship with Claire. Especially say a lot of us went out for dessert afterwards because we got promised dessert after our dinner, and basically she didn't. Basically, they got the days mixed up, so we all decided, right, we'll go down to a dessert place down the road. And Claire Balding decided to say, yeah, I'll come with you. So, I mean, with a lot of people that we know, and then a lot of other sporting events that we can branch out to, if we get invited, we're saying yes all day of the week. I mean, we're trying to reach out to the running clubs to basically see what we can do, see what they can do to help out. Then, like, I'll use Halifax and like all the other teams in the Super League. You've got Halifax, Wigan, you've got Leeds as well. They're all promoting this sport now. But then at the same time, we're also bringing the World Cup trophy to the running rugby matches. We brought it to the Magic Weekend in Newcastle for the men's game. And honestly, the amount of people that probably came up to Wayne, Joe, and Tom, and Adam. Like so many of the players that went there on those 2 days, probably have just opened eyes up for not just children, but also the adults as well, and basically said, right, this is rugby league. This is what this sport is all about. You've got the brutality of it, but you've also got the sportsmanship. You've got players that played against each other in Super League, but then you've also got them playing with each other in an international stage and training together. And I think with how much we're doing with regards to promotion, especially York as well, we had a camp over in York. We had so many people come and watch, and we just split the teams up and did a short exhibition match, and we had people literally cheering us on, which felt weird to say. We had a coaching session, so I mean, it can go anywhere with regards to what's next, and I can't really give a definitive answer. All I do say is that I do want to go to Silverstone at some point, whether I have to pay to go or whether I get invited.
So the question now has to be asked about honours. Clearly, when the England cricket team in 2005 won their Ashes series, even the kit man got something, I think. Certainly there were, was it Paul Collingwood played like 15 minutes of one game and got an OBE for it. They've made it much tighter as to who they're going to give it to. And I think the Lionesses had the same as you did, a coach, a player, a retiring person, the captain. Do you feel in any way aggrieved that you didn't all get, letters after your name?
No, not really. We're not, we don't think about it that way. I mean, the boys that did get it, obviously, we've all technically got it. Because whether it may only be a few players that got names, but we all earned that spot to be called a world champion. And it is a shame, sadly, that not all of us could be named, but it's still that honour that players that we played with got named on the honours list. And it shows like I stated earlier, it shows how far this sport can go. And who knows, maybe next World Cup, there might be more players that get added to and put onto that honours list. We don't know really. But either way, we all earned that spot with regards to we all earned it really with regards to that honours list. And whether it were one person or whether it were four of them that got named, we've all done our part with regards to getting noticed, and for them to just get that OBE and MBEs as well. It's amazing to see how much just one tournament has grown the sport.
You mentioned the World Cup a couple of times, but as of this minute, we're not sure when or where it's going to be. How can you plan for that? Because obviously you're having these intense, some would say brutal training camps. You've probably got at least one, maybe three internationals at the end of the year, but it's all building up to, I would imagine, retaining your trophy if and when you can. And the word on the street is probably New Zealand. Would that suit you if that's where it was?
I mean, wherever it is, we'll adapt, and we'll definitely fight to retain that World Cup. I mean, we can't obviously train for one place. Like you said, it's inevitable. Like it's unknown about where it's definitely going to be. We have to wait until we hear official news. But we just have to keep training. We can't prep for it, but we got to keep training. We can't just think, right, we don't know where it is, we're not going to train properly until we know where it is, because that could easily probably won't be released for a little bit yet, because people are still fighting to get it in their country. I know I've heard different things where they want it in, say for instance, I'm trying to think of one. I think it was Dubai or Saudi, one of them. Qatar, that's it. I'm glad you corrected me, because I knew it was one of them anyway. But it's like you've got places there, but it's like there's so many rumors about where it could be, and either way, whether it's a hot country, a cold country, or if it's rainy England, for instance, again, we'll still train as hard as we can, and we'll definitely fight, put the best fight up that we can to retain it.
From a player's point of view, is there any concern about, obviously the uncertainties there about this next World Cup, but there's been some rumours, some discussion that perhaps it'll be cut down, perhaps there'll just be a men's World Cup and the women's in the wheelchair will be cast asunder again. Is that a concern that you have at the moment?
I think for a player's point of view, if you think about it that way, if we get too concerned with it, we lose our track again. We lose, from my perspective anyway, if you think about it that way, you concern yourself more with what could happen more than what should be happening. And what should be happening is, we've got a season that we're playing in season now. If you're not concentrating 100% on Super League, you're not making any waves. You're not playing to your best potential that you could be. And then at the same time with that, you've got to train as well. You've got to be concentrating off the pitch as well, which is, if you don't do that, you're not able to hit that potential that you could possibly hit. And I know that's my main concern at the minute for myself, is just keep training, because I want to make sure that when news does come about that we've got a test match or we've got a World Cup in this specific place in I'm trying to think 2025 now, we want to be ready. I want to be into the best physical position I can be, even better than what I was in last year. So it is a doubt. It is a very scary situation, but whatever happens, we'll just fight to make sure that it's back on the screens again. And we'll just keep doing what we've been doing this year and the end of last year, and that's promoting the sport to our best ability.
You mentioned the Super League, very tight league table. Leeds and London both with 12 points. Halifax, your team, in third with 8. How do you feel the season's gone so far for the Panthers?
It's been a bit rocky. It's been a bit of a rocky season. Now we've had our faults, but we've had our strengths as well, which is good. I mean, we didn't have a full team against Leeds for Magic Weekend over in Preston, and yet we only lost by, I think, 4 points. I think it was 4 to 6 points. It was 6 actually because Wayne missed his last conversion. He'll hate me for mentioning that. But he, I mean, say we didn't have our full squad, and we had a bad first half. We had a really bad first half, especially for myself. I were in the best position for that first half, and we brought it back in that second half to basically only lose by 6. I wasn't upset about that loss. We weren't upset about that loss. It just shows the potential that we can hit if we play right, if we cut the mistakes out, and that's what we're looking to do this weekend. And we're looking to just get as far as we can within Challenge Cup, and hopefully reach that final. It's going to be tough, but 10 minutes it's a short time, but it's a long time as well, especially if it's a close game. With regard, I mean, we lost to Wigan at start season as well. Don't know what that was. It could have been a bit of rust, but at the same time, a lot of tries conceded come from our errors. I mean, that's no disrespect to any of the other teams. They fight to get down the pitch. But a lot of the tries that get conceded passes are from our own errors, but we learn from that, and as long as we stop that and we do well at the last time, we had the same thing last season we lost a few games during the regular season, got to playoffs, and we smashed out the park and we won grand final. As long as we hit that top 4 and we make it to playoffs, I'm happy with the team. We just need to fix those errors now, early, and then just make sure that we sort it out for the playoffs, and then we can make a good run for it again and defend our Super League title.
You mentioned the Challenge Cup. It's a really tough format. You know, all the teams in one place over one afternoon. The top 2 get to the final. Firstly, do you like that format? But secondly, obviously, it's an event that Catalan Dragons now playing. Welcome additions, I think, last year went to the final. So, who are your French players going to play for? Is it going to be you or is it going to be them? And if it's them, are you going to smash them?
So I don't know for certain about who Jeremy and Seb are playing for. I would guess they're going to go for Catalan, just because it's their main club, which is completely understandable. They'll probably do the same as last year. There could be a surprise on Saturday, for all I know. At least I don't get informed about this stuff. I turn up and I'm like, "Oh, Jeremy's here. Oh, Seb's here." Like, it's one of those things. Unless I physically ask Wayne, I'll see how it goes, really. But I think they will play for Catalan just with how they are, because that's their main club. It's easier for them to fly over with Catalan than it is to fly over a day before, train, stay in Wayne's house, or basically stay wherever, then drive over Saturday. It's just easier for them if they come over with Catalan. I'd like for them to play for us in Challenge Cup, but I think it's unlikely. So it's one of those things, like you said, you had Catalan, which are welcome additions from last year, and it's going to be good to see how some of the teams have improved to fit when they go up against Catalan. Catalan are one of the best teams in France, and then obviously you got Leeds, who won it last year. They're defending their title. London this year have just been phenomenal. They've beaten Halifax, they've beaten Leeds now, they've beaten Wigan. They've gone up against the team like basically the 3 of the top 4 teams from last season, and I'm excited to see how they do, to be honest, further on through the season. I don't want to lose it to them again. I'm definitely saying that now. Going to do everything in my power when it comes to end of the month for Magic Weekend in Kent, to basically make sure that we do not lose to them again. But like I said, it's how we turn up on the day. But then you've got Hull as well with new signing Martin Norris. You've got Warrington Wolves that have just got a new head coach. So it's all interesting to see how it's all going to play out. But then you've got the development as well that are also having their mini trophy tournament in the morning. So there's a full jam-packed day of wheelchair rugby league for people to just come down and watch and enjoy the day. But not only that, I mean, if there is people that come to it and they want to picture or they want to speak to World Cup champions, they're more than welcome to. We're always happy to take any questions, take any photos, and just speak to people as well. So that's one of my biggest messages. If you see us and you are there, come speak to us, because we're always happy to basically answer any questions at any point. Just we will apologise if we are about to jump on for a game because we might have to rush off.
And it's PDRL and LDRL as well. It's the inclusivity weekend. I think Hull have put out a statement today saying over 600 players are going to be there this weekend at at Hull University. Again, does that make you feel, part of something bigger than just a player in a wheelchair team?
Yeah, it just shows. I mean, whether you've got a disability or not, you can play rugby league. Whether you've got, like, we'll say, for instance, if you're playing with the PDRL team, the LDRL, the wheelchair, you've got all these different aspects and all the different areas where you can go down to see what type of rugby league career you want to go for and want to try and strive to do. So it's building on the World Cup with all that inclusivity. And that's one thing that I think, going back onto the statement earlier about where the wheelchair and the women's will probably get pushed aside, I don't think they'll do that, just because you've got that inclusivity side of it there. If you don't show that, you're not branching it out to everyone that you possibly could. And it with last year's World Cup and even this weekend as well, it's showing, come join in, no matter what your ability is, there's a place for you in a team.
The Challenge Cup, big game for Halifax, obviously retaining the title. I mean, as you say, Wheelchair Super League, Wheelchair Rugby League in general, it is going places, teams springing up all the time. It must be a very exciting time to be involved and be at the forefront of this movement.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, really. I mean, it's been a thing because I started a bit earlier. Started a bit later compared to some of the players that are even currently still playing now, and some of the players that were in England performance unit last year and this year. But you've got newer players that have come in recently, and they're striving to be the best that they can. You've got teams that are building development that have enough players to go for a development team, so their team's going off to one direction, where their Super League team's going off to another, and the sport's growing, and it's amazing to see. We've got the coverage there from the sportsmen with regards to the Magic Weekend games, and it's just going to keep growing from here. I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. As long as we put the effort in, we will just keep growing it to the best of our ability, and we will go further and further with regards to this, and nothing can stop us besides ourselves.
I mean, profile's massive, as witnessed you being at Wimbledon. And we've just done a piece in the latest magazine that's out now with Martin Dugan, who clearly is a BBC Newsround presenter, has just made his debut for Scotland in the Celtic Cup. And again, he's saying all the right things about Wheelchair Rugby League, about what it means to him to be selected for his country, and admitting that even he is a novice at the moment. So again, all of these people jumping on your bandwagon, if you like, it can only be good.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really say it's jumping on our bandwagon, say, for instance, our bandwagon. It's everyone's bandwagon that joins the sport, because they're joining a sport that's still growing. So whether you've just joined it now or you've joined it a few years ago, you're on that, you're promoting the sport. Whether you think about it or not, playing for your country is still basically promoting the sport, because you've got the international social medias where they're promoting, a lot of them anyway, try to as best as they can, depending on how much information they get given. They're promoting the wheelchair team, and it's something that they can't really avoid, really, because the sport's growing, and a lot of people are asking now, when it comes to stuff like this, is what's next for Wheelchair Rugby League? And I've had the question a few times, what's next for you? What's next for the game? What's going to happen with this? And it's like, the only answer you can give is, I don't know. There's nothing more that you can really say with regards to that, because it's so much uncertainty around it. And I think as long as everyone realizes that that they can do whatever they can, basically be the best that they can be, they can promote the sport, it just makes it better, really, and it helps them gain the confidence that they want to basically say, right, I want to do this with the sport. I want to reach a higher level. I want to play for England, for instance. We've got so many young players that basically just want to reach that high level, especially with the development teams. I've gone to go help out the Bradford Bulls team who are in Championship. basically we've got seen a few young players where they've jumped on and they have potential. It's just about how far they want to take it, and that's the next generation of players, really.
The shadow of the cat just appearing in the corner tells me that is it he or a she? I don't want to get the gender wrong with the cat.
It's a she, and she's really annoying me.
That's what cats are there for.
Yeah.
Final one from me, because we are running out of time. After being at Wimbledon, you don't fancy switching to play wheelchair tennis instead of wheelchair rugby league?
I mean, wheelchair rugby league would always be my home, but I did say, because my grandma's a massive fan of tennis, a few years prior, I was actually going to think of taking up the wheelchair tennis, see how I do. The cards could still be on the table. We don't know yet, but we'll see how it goes. I mean, wheelchair rugby league will always be my home, so nothing will ever replace that. But we'll have to just see how it goes. And now she's nudging the flaming monitor. So I mean, it's one of those things really where it can go anywhere really. And we just have to. There's many pathways that I can go with sport, and I'll probably be seeing how it goes later on down the line. But for now, I've just got to concentrate on rugby, and we'll possibly cross that bridge later on.
And cats.
Yeah.
Phil,
any
final things, Phil?
No, just give my love to your cat, because mine too is scraping.
Yeah, I will. At least you've got a
trying to get in.
Special guest. Yeah, at least you got another special guest for it. So that's the good point.
Oh, there's never enough cats on podcasts on the internet. So that's the thing. Cats. Well, we need more cats.
Yeah, I need to really start closing the door though, because I think this such an attention seeker, and I'm literally just here trying to concentrate. And I've got my hand at edge on the end of like this little like stand I've got, and all I see is her just rubbing up against me and rubbing up against the monitor, and I'm like, oh bugger.
Well, at least it's only us and not the BBC or Sky or something. That's
I mean, if it was Sky, if it was Sky, they probably would have seen the cat by now and probably would have picked it out. I'm surprised it's taken us. I don't know how long it took us before I had to basically move her away the first time round. But I mean, it's just on the back of what I'm saying, and it's honestly exciting to see where the rest of the sport goes. And honestly, I thank you guys for basically honestly continuing your coverage, and then on the sport, and also inviting me along to do these nice little interviews, especially when you have special guests such as feline friends.
I mean, I'll make sure it's not as long next time before we do it again. But enjoy Hull at the weekend and the Challenge Cup. And we don't know anyone in Formula One. I mean, if you'd asked about darts, we probably could have managed to wangle you some tickets from somewhere. But hang on, Formula One's on Channel 4, isn't it? So we must have some ins at Channel 4. Do we know people at Channel 4?
I think we do.
I still don't think we'd be able to get your tickets though.
I mean, if it's a flight to a different country, I mean, I won't say no to it. But I think we'd have to make sure it's on the Grand Prix on a weekend where I'm not supposed to be at England camp or any games. Otherwise, I'll probably be getting a stern message off of a couple of coaches. So we'll have to see how that goes.
Wayne would take that really well.
Yeah, I'd love it, honestly. I mean, in all fairness, I've already booked an holiday off at end of year for us. So he has actually been good with it. So we'll see how it goes when that date comes, because he didn't even remember I were at this game last weekend, to be honest, until I gave him a call a week earlier. So
at least he wasn't on the day. He's just counting the players and like, hang on, well, wasn't sure where's Rob.
Well, I mean, it was good. We brought a development player up. He's up and coming player, and he's actually deaf as well. So obviously, it's a new level of like basically new way that we have to train, and it's amazing to see, really.
Right, we'll talk about that next time because we are running out of time. That just gives an inning to next time. Rob, thank you for your time. Best of luck for the weekend, and we shall catch up with you again soon.
That's great. Thank you very much.